Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome here to the Toyota Save Mark 350 for race number 2 of the debut season of the PCSRA Winston Cup Series. Getting set to start our second race, but our first road course race of the season after a caution-free race we had last week at Coca-Cola. What will 17 laps bring us here today? Josephine Bouvier starts on the pole position for today's race, finished ninth at Coca-Cola last week. She is alongside of a couple of drivers who didn't have good results, like, for instance, Betty Johnson, who finished dead last at Coca-Cola. She's looking to rebound. Annie Thomas in the row number 2, 20th last week at Coca-Cola, and Annie Winters alongside of them, or alongside of her. Winters finished pretty poorly in the race. Or actually, no, as I'm trying to find her in the standings, she's 21st last week at Coca-Cola. As you look at the rest of the starting lineup, points leader Zachary Taylor is the points leader by 6 points over Brad Lewis and Luke Knight. 8 points back, Melissa Cooper fourth in the standings. Sean Art is 9 points back in fifth, and it's Brooklyn Carter, Betty Barrett, Jacob TwoTwo, Josephine Bouvier, our pole sitter, and Michael Anderson complete your top 10s. Time to get these cars ready to go racing here for 17 laps of racing. I won it on the 99, you derp. Pace cars already off as the field enters turn number 11. I don't know why the track's always like this with the inside line slowing down, but oh well. Make sure everybody got rolled off. It looks like that is indeed the case. All right, here we go. 17 laps of racing, no caution, so whatever happens, happens. We're green at Sonoma. It was a demolition derby race yesterday for the inaugural Busch race here at Sonoma. What will we have here today without caution flags? We're going to have to wait and see. Top four have gotten single filed there. Josephine Bouvier, Betty Johnson, Annie Thomas, all single filed. As we enter the S's here for the first time, check if we had any trouble in the back. And so far, so good. I thought I saw damage on the 11, but it might have been a damage glitch. As everybody's just quietly sneaking their way through. Change for third. Annie Winters just got around Annie Thomas, the Annie and Annie show, as I like to call it. And we're about to have a battle for the lead here. Bouvier overdrives the corner just a bit and nicks the tire wall a bit. And Betty Johnson says, "Thank you. I will take the lead." Excuse me. Betty Johnson will lead the first lap of today's race. It's like Brad Lewis got into the wall there. Yeah, he's got some left side damage on his DeWalt Ford Taurus. Yeah, looked like he pancaked that tire wall going into turn number 11 there. Got some dust kicking up, but looks like everybody has stayed on the course. Marty Stevens losing some spots to Todd Montgomery as he's going around the 0-1 of Ben Tennyson, coming out of 6, heading for turn 7. Brenda Eveling driving the Pepsi colors this week. Normally I see the Pepsi car at Talladega, but they decided to bring it here this weekend. And somebody's in the wall. I saw a car got shot up into the wall there, and that's Ashley Horton. That was a big hit for Ashley Horton. Finished 29th last week at a lot of damage to the Valvoline Pontiac from MBV Racing. But again, like I said, there's no caution, so whatever happens, happens. That was a pretty good hit she did. Looked like she got loose under somebody and just lost the back of the car and just went straight into the tire wall. Annie Thomas lost another position, I think. Yeah, she did. She's losing positions. Where's the 23? She's running in fourth. Okay, she's about to fall in the clutches of that Budweiser car. That's Margaret Jacobs, by the way. Jacobs 12th last week at Coca-Cola. Got some drivers kicking up a bit of dust there. I think the 99 just ran off the course a bit. So did the 38. And there's Betty Johnson just chilling away. And if anybody thinks Betty Johnson's dominating this race, that's kind of an understatement because she does come from a background of road racing, from karting in her country of Australia. Of course, her and Annie Thomas are, yes, dating together, number one, which, let's be honest, those two racing on road courses for their entire lives and a family built of road racing, seeing one of them leading this race and dominating, that doesn't surprise me one bit. Betty Johnson's been a part of World NOS Racing like ever since she joined the team. She's been a family on that team. See some dust being kicked up. I think that was come. Don't know if anybody else has run into trouble. Looks like that is not the case. The one car's not having a good run. That's, by the way, Brittany White in the one. Finished 24th last week, so not the run she was hoping for. Let's also not forget Annie Thomas came into this race 4 points below the cut line, as the 10 car has gone behind the wall, and I have confirmed it. So Ashley Horton is okay. She is going to the infield care center just to get checked out. So no harm, no foul. So Horton will fall outside the top 30 after today. Let's see where Zachary Taylor's running. He's running in the 18th position. The good news for him, the guy that's trying to run him down for the points lead, that being the 17 of Brad Lewis running in 29th, that kind of surprises me, seeing Brad Lewis struggling on a road course, because let's also not forget Brad Lewis, as I see some skid marks and Betty Johnson going wide. And it's now a Bill Davis Racing 1-2 because Annie Thomas just got around the M&M's Ford. And Thomas is now up to the second position. Ooh, Thomas overdrove that corner just a little bit. Winters tried to respond. Not sure who had those skid marks in the S's. Oh, got a couple of cars stuck. Jerry Harvick and the 45 of Luigi Cadet. Cadet hits the wall just a bit. There's a lot of damage on the 18 machine. And they're about to get lapped soon. Looks like they both wheel hop going in the 7. And around those two went, so Cadet didn't finish good last week at Coca-Cola, rather. 37th to be exact. So this is not the finish he was hoping for. And Jerry Harvick finished 31st last week, so that's two drivers who really didn't need a bad result today. I also see a couple of other cars on pit road, like the 11. I didn't see who else was on pit road. That's Ponzo Albanese. Oh, the 77. That's Tom Montgomery. What happened to these two, real quickly? Got a lot of damage to that Jasper Ford. Oh, knocked into the 20 car. That's what happened to 77. That was Michael Anderson, by the way, in the 20 car. But that doesn't explain why he had rear end damage. Oh, well, Luigi Cadet ran in the back of him. That's obvious. But what happened to Ponzo Albanese? That's my next question. Okay, same corner. Okay, he must have gotten stuck. The 7 and 97 spun out. Yeah. So that's why they had to teleport to pit road. They got stuck. Got some dust being kicked up out of turn 10, heading to turn 11. I know you're thinking 17 laps doesn't seem like a long race. Considering this is a road course, that's definitely what it's considering. You gotta think this is a 2 mile road course, so it takes a long time for these guys to complete a lap. Betty Johnson dropped the wheel into the dirt and now allow Annie Thomas, her teammate and girlfriend. Yes, they are teammates and girlfriends. And Annie Thomas trying to look underneath the 22 of Betty Johnson and move the Stacker 2 Dodge into the lead of the race as Betty Johnson nearly gets turned by Annie Winters in the 38. So that's bonus points going to be coming Annie Thomas's way. So Thomas, Johnson, Winters, Bouvier. Jacobs, your top 5. Maddie Crenshaw, who we've been talked about, running in 6th, 32nd last week at Coca-Cola. Much better result for the driver out of Indiana Motorsports. Team owner Zachary Taylor said Maddie Crenshaw just had a bad day last week. And he said, coming into this race, refer to Maddie Crenshaw, she'll bounce back. She does really good at Sonoma. And so far, doing a very good job. Ben Ericsson 7th, Annie Crenshaw in 8th. So I've talked about one Crenshaw who had a poor result. The other Crenshaw who came into this race 1 point below the cut line, running in 8th. Good run for her. Tatum Wright is 9th. Good run. And look who else is in the top 10. That's Monica Towns, former Buffalo Wild Wings Series champ. That's another driver from Indiana Motorsports. Of course, she has a sister running in one of the lower divisions, as Thomas ran a little bit wide there. Betty Johnson ran even wider and lost the position to April Winters. So she just went from first to third in a couple of laps. Hopefully she doesn't fall into the clutches of Bouvier and Jacobs. But this would still be a good points day for Betty Johnson, since she finished dead last week at Coca-Cola. Ooh, Annie Winters just ran a couple of tires off in the dirt and allowed Betty Johnson possibly have a chance to go underneath the M&M's Ford. Zachary Taylor still in 17th right now, and the 17 has dropped well back. Cody Smart not having a good day, and Cody finished 35th. He's running 35th this week. Oh boy, Cody Smart as Annie Thomas ran off the course just a bit. Oh, Bouvier's got some left side damage on her Sitco Ford. There's Margaret Jacobs, Maddie Crenshaw. She also's got left side damage on the Motorcraft Ford. As we're about to have a battle for 7th between Annie Crenshaw and Ben Ericsson. Ericsson has it. Annie Crenshaw wants it, and looks like she just gets by the target Dodge without much of a problem, although Ericsson is fighting back. One out of World Nos Racing, one out of Smart Motorsports. Now, I have to give Annie Crenshaw a lot of credit with what she's done so far in her career. Missed a couple of races not turning due to not turning 18. Made the playoffs in the Coca-Cola Truck Series. Sadly got eliminated, which she barely squeaked into the top 30 in the points table. But had a great end to what was a promised rookie campaign. She's been really good so far through her career, as we had some more dust being kicked up. So we go back to Annie Thomas here, see who they're about to encounter. Ponzo Albanese in the 39th position. He's a lap down. Cody Smart's got some right side damage on his Altel Dodge. And I believe he's got left side. Yeah, he's got left side damage as well on the Altel Dodge. So does Marty Stevens. There's Sean Art running in the 33rd position. Sean finished 5th last week, so this is not the result he was hoping for today. So I can tell you the points are going to get shaken up after today's race. As we head into next week at Phoenix. So next week we head to Phoenix. The following week, Busch will be off. It will be Trucks and Cup from Martinsville. And then after Martinsville, I believe we go to Bristol for all 3 series. Let me double check. No, we go to Bristol later in the year. We go to Darlington. We go to Darlington after that, after Martinsville. So we will see the Busch Series and Truck Series after the Truck Series next race, which will be Martinsville after we're done with the Phoenix weekend. We will not see trucks until Darlington. And Darlington, by the way, will be our first night race on the channel, as Annie Thomas ran a little wide there. And Annie Winters, chasing her down. And by the way, we're coming to 4 to go. And Betty Johnson just lost another spot into the hands of Margaret Jacobs, but Johnson's trying to respond. And remember, these two are teammates at DVR World NOS Racing, but Margaret Jacobs is going to get the spot on Betty Johnson. So all of a sudden, Betty Johnson went from leading this race to now 4th. Hopefully she doesn't fall in the clutches, as I noticed Maddie Crenshaw just got around J Bouvier. And I think ever since Annie Thomas got around Betty Johnson, I wonder if the handling started to go away on that 22 machine. But as I said before, and I'll say it again, it's still a nice bounce back result for her, since she finished dead last and came into this race needing a good run today. So in all hindsight, that's a good thing. So the big question is going to be, who would be the points leader leaving today? Because if I look here closely through the running order, I don't see Luke Knight having a good run. Luke Knight, by the way, was 3rd in the points, and he's running in 21st. And Melissa Cooper in the 43, running 24th. So, and of course, Sean's not running well. Brooklyn Carter, she's running 22nd. Betty Barrett is running 17th. Bouvier, we know, is in the top 10. J TwoTwo running in 12th. And Jacob was only 12 points back of Zachary Taylor, but he's only ahead of Taylor by 4 positions. I think it might be Zachary Taylor, but I can tell you the points are going to get really shaken up heading into next week's race at Phoenix, which, like I said, will be just Busch and Cup. Then the following week, Busch will be off. Then we'll have Trucks and Cup at Martinsville before all 3 series tackle Darlington. So I hope you guys are looking forward to a fun racing event at the on this channel. Down to 2 laps of racing to go here. Only 1 DNF so far, and that would be Ashley Horton. So, ooh, Annie Thomas ran off the course just a little bit there. Annie Winters catching. So this is going to be, like in real life, we call it the Kyle and Kyle show with Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson. This is now the Annie and Annie show. Annie Winters versus Annie Thomas. One is a former champion, that would be Thomas, and one's out of Smart Motorsports, who's had an okay career so far. Did make it into the Final Four in the Buffalo Wild Wings series, so there you go. As we are coming to take the white flag, 1 more lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank, and now this battle for the win's heating up. Annie Thomas just needs to make 1 perfect lap and hope that the 38, hopefully she doesn't make a mistake to where the 38 can catch her. And Betty Johnson, I just noticed, lost another position to Maddie Crenshaw. So definitely the handling went away on that 22 Cat car, as I noticed some skid marks there, but no harm, no foul. This is the battle for the win we got to keep an eye on. Through the S's for the final time. You got to get the S's perfect. No mistakes. No mistakes. Oh, Annie Winters ran off the track just a little bit. That might have just sealed it right there. An Aussie girl in Annie Thomas, a former champion of the PCSRA, which was the Monster Energy Series, rounds off turn number 11 off of turn 12. Annie Thomas will take the Toyota Save Mark 350 here today at Infineon. And this is going to be kind of early for me to say this. Has Annie Thomas locked herself a spot into this season's chase for the championship, providing she remains in the top 30 in the points? Waiting for the entire field to cross, so Annie Thomas will get the win. Came in this race 4 points below the cut line in 20th, so whoop! Just like that, she's inside the playoff grid for now. Annie Winters will get second. Great run from her. Annie Winters 21st. She will also be in that playoff grid conversation as well. Margaret Jacobs will get third. Great run to her. This will put her in the top 10 in the points table leaving today. Maddie Crenshaw, quiet run from her in the 4th position, 32nd last week. Good result this week. Betty Johnson, dead last, 5th this week. So this will get her out of the cellar of the points table. Annie Crenshaw will get 6th. Great run for Annie Crenshaw. And she came into this race 17th in points. She'll be above the cut line. The standings are now official. Josephine Bouvier 7th. Great run from her after a solid run. I think, I could be wrong, and don't quote me on this, I think she might be the points leader. I think. I don't want to be wrong, but let the points down in the description decipher that for you guys. Ben Ericsson gets 8th. Good run for Ben. Ben Ericsson was 16th in points, so he'll be inside the top 10 possibly. Tatum Wright gets 928th in points. Good run from her. And Hannah Smith didn't talk much about that 48 car all day. Quietly snuck her way into the 10th position. So well done to that 48 team. They will definitely be in the top 10 of the points leaving today. Look on down through the remainder of the finishing results here. Trying to find Zachary Taylor. Oh, Taylor finished out of the race in 39th. I bet he had a incident we didn't see in the closing stages of this race. And of course, Taylor came in this race the winner last week. And let's see, the guy that was trying to run him down only finished 7 spots ahead. That would be Brad Lewis, 32nd for him. He came in this race second in points. So I can tell you a lot of drivers, and Taylor joined Ashley Horton behind the wall. Luigi Cadet was the last car that finished on the lead lap. Harvick, Montgomery, and Alvinus all finished a lap down. So I'm looking at this, and it looks like maybe, where did the 40 finish? That's my next question. 28 came to race third in points. So a lot of drivers who had great runs last week had difficult races today. A lot of drivers like Betty Johnson, Maddie Crenshaw, who struggled at Coca-Cola, had good results today. So I can tell you the points are going to get mighty shaken up heading into next week at Phoenix International Raceway, which we're heading to next week for Busch and Cup. Hope you'll join us for that. Please give this video a like if you guys enjoyed today's race. Subscribe to become part of the PCSRA crew today. We showed your full finish results. Your points are down in the description heading into next week's race. Until Phoenix, everybody, I've been D TwoTwo signing off as you've been watching yet another broadcast of PCSRA TV, where champions are made since 2010 and the best in racing around the world since 2017. So long from Wine Country.